Hey, One Tree Hill fans, thanks for being here. I sound a little rough today, and things are a little out of sorts because I have been sick all week. So, bear with me. We're going to get into season 3, episode 10, Brave New World. So, let's dive in. Wow, right after Lucas and Brooke have a happy moment of hooking up, here comes Peyton needing Lucas. Foreshadowing. I cannot be happy with Brooke and Lucas getting back together because they never should have gone back down that road. Yeah, Brooke's reality is gonna start crashing down with that website. You can't make dresses in 1 hour. It's a lot of work. Again, it's not a realistic timeline. Oh, that whole interaction. Dan coming in with Haley and creeping her out while she's naked in the bed and everything in this house will always belong to me. And taking the note from Nathan and then saying, I'm waiting for the annulment papers. I hope you don't think this one night stand changes anything. Like, oh my God, Dan, why are you everywhere all the time? Like, do you have cameras all around town? Like, what is it? I really did forget about Peyton and Lucas going on this impromptu road trip to go find Ellie. More foreshadowing. Okay, that was funny when Brooke's like telling Mouth, you didn't get over here fast enough. I drive a bicycle. You called me 17 minutes ago. Well, I'm fresh out of medals. Yeah, Lucas not really being upfront with Brooke about going with Peyton, and you can tell he didn't want to call her. Like, I get why, but I'm like, not a good sign. Yeah, I know you think Brooke is okay with this, Lucas, but she's not. I feel so bad for Deb, but you have to respect the evolution of her character through this show because she really does go through a lot of peaks and valleys. Gonna be honest, the Ellie storyline was not always my favorite, so I may not have a lot of thoughts on this one. I mean, I'm glad that Peyton is going to try to get to know Ellie, but we'll see how much I have to say on this. Lucas's friend, Faith, totally nailed it. Don't tell me you're dating a bitchy cheerleader. Segue to Brooke yelling at Haley. I know how to sew, Brooke. Oh my God. Brooke saying to Bevan, you're late. And what are those? Those little people thingies. Brooke's little sweatshop, right? Nathan confuses me because one minute he's like, yeah, let's get my dad. No, Lucas, don't do it. Oh, Mom, I understand. And then she tells him, oh, hey, I tried to kill your dad. And he's like, you didn't have the courage to leave him, but you had the courage to kill him. It's like, this is where the whole, like, it wouldn't have been that easy. If it was easy to leave Dan, she would have done it. She had tried in the past. And I believe Nathan knows that. So it's like, that's the whole, like, dynamic. It's like you can't just, oh, bye, whatever, because they don't let you go. And it's like, and of all people, I feel like Nathan should understand that. So I know that he's, being angsty teenager right now, but it's like this total like back and forth with Nathan. Faith is Lucas's Haley in another town, giving him those reality checks that Haley hasn't been giving him lately. And this is the episode where Rachel and Mouth really kind of talk. Thus starts their little situation. Yeah, I do wish that Nathan had taken the call from Haley, especially considering his dad took the note. I will say, Ellie's record collection, very impressive. I'm sorry, but when Nathan is like, how did it come to this, Mom? Because your father is Dan Scott. That's how. Nathan rationalizing his father. Oh, he's a bad guy, but he doesn't deserve to die. I'm really glad that she is explaining things, though, to Nathan to give him a better perspective of exactly what she's been dealing with. Oh my God. Brooke needs to remember these people are helping her for free. And of course, Rachel came over to do her own dress. Sew her own dress because she didn't trust the designer. See, it's always Haley giving that perspective, and that's so good about Brooke and Haley's friendship because they really did have that dynamic with their friendship, especially as the seasons went on. Because now Brooke is realizing, okay, I've been a bitch. Everybody go home. It's my problem. I'm gonna handle it. Okay, one thing I can say is that we can definitely see where Peyton gets her wild mood swings because Ellie is definitely slinging some of those mood swings in this episode with, "Who do you think you are? I like to be alone. At least I could until the last 17 years." It's like, wait a minute, you went looking for her. I am glad that Deb talked to Nathan. It was important for her to, be like, hey, I'm leaving for now. I don't like what Lucas did with making Brooke think he was not coming back that night. I feel like that was a game. Mayor Dan Scott. Eh. And then of course Ellie comes back and it's a business arrangement. Thank God Nathan went to go see Haley. It's nice that Lucas shared the court with what the court means to him to Brooke, but I still can't get into it with them. They should have just stayed apart. Okay, so it's super late. I just got done listening to the podcast. So, I did wonder if this was a filler episode. So the ladies on the podcast completely confirmed that they feel the same way. um, Joy's story, wow. Um, he did pick you. It's not on you, Joy. He is a douche nozzle. I just think people need to own up, be honest, stop gaslighting, and just stop wasting people's time. I mean, like, seriously. And it was so nice that Cheryl Lee could be on the podcast. It's really lovely how good of an influence she was on Hillary. I totally forgot that we do eventually get to meet Hillary's, or should I say Peyton's bio dad. I completely forgot about that. And I do agree that Ellie not apologizing for her choices in her life was actually pretty awesome. And I also agree, as I kind of mentioned earlier, that I agree with Joy. Her Ellie's actions were a bit contradictory and mood swings. Yes, I'm totally down with the Witches of Eastwick kind of One Tree Hill kind of vibe thing. So I'm on board for that. Let's do that. um, and I'm glad that they were equally annoyed with Lucas because I've been saying that. Like, he was like really annoying. And yes, be an Nathan, be direct. That is correct. And even though, Ellie's not my personal favorite storyline, I can appreciate that it was nice to have Peyton have a storyline that wasn't strictly about boys. I do agree with that. And I do always love the friendship that Haley and Brooke have. And I do think it's important that they did illustrate, that moment where Haley's like, hey, you're being a bitch. And Brooke really did accept the information. She didn't try to turn it around or continue to be even bitchier or whatever. It was just a really healthy expression of a healthy friendship. Let's see. And yes, I do agree that, like, I'm glad that they agreed that, like, yeah, we can all agree that that encounter with Dan and Haley was just gross. It's so gross. And yes, let's destigmatize regifting. I agree. So those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for being here. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, and I'll see you next week.